Hi everybody, Darla again. This is a Mount Rose t-shirt that I want to do a shout out to Mount Rose. Thank you for donating the retired t-shirts. I'm going to show you how to make a mask with a t-shirt today. I will show you how to make it if you don't sew, and then I will show you if you have a sewing machine how you will be able to make the filter pocket. So let's lay out the t-shirt on your surface that you can cut. You can use one of the roller blades, or you can use your scissors. If you have a roller blade, these are very sharp. I'm going to take off the bottom of the t-shirt to start. And being real careful and straight is not what is important here, as you will see. I tried to make them as neat as possible. And the reason why I like this pattern to go out to folks and for people to use at home, they are machine washable, very durable, and give you very good coverage. And if you're able to do the sewing machine piece and add the filter pocket, it's a very good mask. So this is the t-shirt, so there's 2 layers here, right? Now I am going to measure and mark on my fabric, okay? I just use a ruler. I am going to measure 8 inches, and I'm going to put a mark. 8 inches, and put a mark. This is an extra large t-shirt, okay? Then I'm going to come back to the one edge. You do not cut it. You leave it folded, and you're going to measure down 4 inches, okay? In a moment, you're going to see that we're going to end up with a 8x8 mask, okay? Makes sense? So I've marked my 4 inches and my 8 inches from the side. I could, right here, if I'm doing mass production, I could mark my 888. So I've got 2 masks ready to cut. For timing in this video, I'm going to start cutting. I have a self-healing cutter under my t-shirt. And I use my ruler and I line up my scores. Boom. Okay, I'm going to make my first cut. Again, you can do this with a pair of scissors. Just be really careful. You could use a razor blade from the garage. Get your husband to do that. So now I have this 8-inch tube from the t-shirt. I'm going to set that aside. Okay. With my 4-inch piece marked at the top, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to turn it around so I can cut with my right hand. From the 4-inch section, I have discovered on this ruler, I have 1.5 inches wide is what I'm going to make my tie. For my sake, this ruler is that size. Make sure you're on your cutting board. I'm at the 4-inch mark. I'm going to cut. All the way to the end. So I've got that tie. Okay, I'm going to turn that whole thing around again because I'm right-handed using my ruler. Here's my 4 inches, right? I don't want to go past that, and I'm ready to make my cut. roller cutter has been working overtime. Probably need to get a new one. There it is. Okay. So now these become our straps. You'll see in a moment. We need to cut at the 4-inch. So I've gone a little bit long, so I'm just going to make sure I'm at 4-inch. There's my mark. Here's my mark. Okay. So now make sure your ties are out of the way. Get out that ruler. And I like to be as precise as possible. So I'm going to measure 4-inch, 4-inch. Okay? I'm good to go. Make sure my ties are out of the way. And I'm ready to cut. Okay. This center piece of material, don't throw away. I'm going to show you something to do with them that you can make other masks with for our mass production mask makers. So now, what do we have left here? We have a very funny piece of material that, lo and behold, becomes a mask. The ties are integrated. We just need to cut these right in the center. And these are really long, and what's really cool about t-shirt material, when we pull on this, it wants to curl on itself. This stays this way and helps it to be able to tie easily, okay? Now, if you don't have a sewing machine, okay, you can make 2 of these, put them on top of each other, and tie them on. You can put your filter right between it. It will stay there, and you will tie it right on your face, double, okay? And that's a great mask. It's a great option. If you have a sewing machine, let's look at putting the pocket. So my greatest challenge has been, how do I make sure that my fabric, because I'm making them one by one, is the right size. So I'm not a seamstress, so I'm making this up as I go along for the best way I know how to do it. You will find better ways, I am sure, but I put my little pattern right on top of my fabric, and I want to get 1/4 inch on each side, okay? Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, because next we're going to cut it 1/4 inch on each side. We're going to go to the ironing table. We're going to iron that, and we're going to finish this mask. So here are the dimensions for you. So again, it was 8 across, 4 deep, and you want from the top to the bottom of the fabric at least 19 inches, because 4 of it's here. That's a 15-inch tie. And so let's go to the ironing board. So now we're at the ironing board, and I've taken my piece of fabric that we cut. On the wrong side, you're going to just bend in the 1/4 inch. And I like to iron them down. It helps me when I go to the sewing machine. So I like to make sure that I like how it's going to look on my mask, that my pattern is the right way, and that's looking pretty darn close. It's not going to be perfect. This is a quick and easy. Let's go to the sewing machine. So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and stitch the one side that's going to be on the lower of the mask. That's going to create the filter pocket. We need to do that so that this mask can get washed 30, 60 times and it's not going to fray. Y'all know how to do that. So now the really fun part, we only have 2 more things to do. Make sure your straps are going out to the sides. We're going to be top stitching, and that's why it was important for us to have the bottom part of the mask stitched so it doesn't fray, right? Just fit it right on there as best you can, kind of centering it. You're going to have a little extra space on sides. That's okay. When this washes, that rolls a little bit and it's not going to matter. So I start at the bottom corner. We're going to go to the top, go across, and back down. Pause. So I've just completed stitching up, across the top, and down. And you see how it doesn't have to be perfect. The pocket opening is on the bottom here, and it's stitched under again, so that's not going to fray. So now I am going to put in the pleats so that this is going to fit a face well. So it's just above the halfway point on the mask. I will lift to create the first pleat, and I like to pin this in here because I'm going to stitch right here on the outside. Okay, I'm going to pin both sides. If I pin my finger one more time, it hurts so bad. So then I'm going to go as close to here as the bottom of this pleat, and I'm going to be pulling that down so that the ties are within a 1/4 inch of each other. They can touch, but about a 1/4 inch works well. Okay, there's that side. And then I like to always kind of sit back and look at it. Does it look symmetrical? You know, do you need to make an adjustment before you go in there? So that's equal. That looks good. I'm going to be able to stitch on top here and here. So I'm going to stitch the one side with you. And you can always make things a little straighter. I always start with a back up. Make sure it's in there. Go up. Good. And down, and I do my back up. I'm going to do that on the other side, and we'll be right back with you. So we have finished sewing the pleats on both sides, and this is what it looks like. For the sake of right now, I'm just going to pull on these tags. When you wash these, make sure you tie them together in a bow. Otherwise, they get all caught up on each other, tangled. So the opening I want to put down on the lower part of my face. So for you, I want you to see when I put this on, I'm just, I need to tie a bow. Okay. It's on my nose. You pull this open all the way, okay? And you want for it to be kind of boxed so it's not touching your whole face, because when it touches your nose and everything, it makes your nose run. And so that's the way that the mask goes on. I just want to show you my the first prototype. This is how it makes right after you wash it, how it goes from the flat, just like we had, to a very structured box that fits nicely over your nose and mouth and is very comfortable to wear even when you put that filter in there. PM me if you have any questions on this, make comments. Good luck. If you're interested in helping cutting the t-shirts for our mask making here in Reno, please drop me a personal message and I can get you 20 shirts. Thank you so much. Happy sewing.